Activity 3. Rub a magnet in the sand or soil. Pull out the magnet. Are there some particles of sand or soil sticking to the magnet? Now gently shake the magnet to remove the particles of sand or soil. Are some particles still sticking to it? These might be small pieces of iron picked by from the soil. Through such an activity, we can find out whether the soil or sand from the given place contains particles that have iron. Try this activity near your home, school, or the place you visit on your holidays. Does the magnet with iron flings sticking to it look like any one of those shown in figure 13.6? If you fill this table and send it to Paheli and Bujo, they can compare the amount of iron fillings found in soil from different parts of the country. They can share the information with you. Poles of magnet. We observe that iron fillings stick to a magnet rubbed in the soil. Did you observe anything special about the way they stick to the magnet? Activity 4. Spread some iron fillings on a sheet of paper. Now place a bar magnet on this sheet. What do you observe? Do the iron fillings stick all over the magnet? Do you observe that more iron fillings get attracted to some parts of the magnet than others? Remove the iron filling sticking to the magnet and repeat the activity. Do you observe any change in the pattern with which the iron fillings get attracted by different parts of the magnet? You can do this activity using pins or iron nails in place of iron fillings and also with magnets of different shapes. Draw a diagram to show the way iron fillings sticking to the magnet. Is your drawing similar to that shown in figure 13.6a? We find that the iron fillings are attracted more towards the region close to two ends of a bar magnet. Poles of magnets are said to be near these ends. Try and bring a few magnets of different shapes to the classroom. Check for the location of the poles on these magnets using iron fillings. Can you now mark the location of poles in the kind of magnets shown in figure 13.4? Finding directions. Magnets were known to people from ancient times. Many properties of magnets were also known to them. You might have read many interesting stories about the uses of magnets. One such story is about an emperor in China named Hong Ti. It is said that he had a chariot with statue of lady that could rotate in any direction. It had an extended arm as if it was showing the way. The statue had an interesting property. It would rest in such position that its extends arm always pointed towards south. By looking at the extended arm of the statue, the emperor was able to locate direction when he went to new places on his chariot. Let us make such direction finder for ourselves. Activity 5. Take a bar magnet. Put a mark on one of its ends for identification. Now tie a thread at the middle of the magnet so that you may suspend it from a wooden stand. Make sure that the magnet can rotate freely. Let it come to rest. Mark 2 points on the ground to show the position of the ends of the magnet when it comes to rest. Draw a line joining the 2 points. This line shows the direction in which the magnet was pointing in its position of rest. Now rotate the magnet by gently pushing one end in any direction and let it come to rest. Again, mark the position of the two ends in its position of rest. Does the magnet now point in a different direction? Rotate the magnet in another direction and note the final direction in which it comes to rest. Do you find that the magnet always comes to rest in the same direction? Now can you guess the mystery behind the statue in Emperor's chariot? Repeat this activity with an iron bar and a plastic or a wooden scale instead of a magnet. Do not use light objects for this activity and avoid doing it where there are currents of air. Do the other materials also always come to rest in the same direction? We find that freely suspended bar magnets always come to rest in the particular direction, which is the north-south direction. Use the direction of the rising sun in the morning to find out the rough direction towards east where you are doing this experiment. If you stand facing east, to your left will be north. Using the sun for finding directions may not be very exact, but it will help to make out the direction north from the south on your line. Using this, you can figure out which end of the magnet is pointing to the north and which points to the south. The end of the magnet that points towards north is called north-seeking end or the north pole of the magnet. The other end that points towards south is called south-seeking end or the south pole of the magnet. All magnets have two poles whatever their shape may be. Usually north N and south S poles are marked on the magnets. This property of the magnet is very useful for us. For centuries, travelers have been making use of this property of magnets to find directions. It is said that in olden days, travelers used to find directions by suspending natural magnets with a thread which they always carried with them. Later on, a device was developed based on this property of magnets. It is known as compass. A compass is usually a small box with a glass over on it. A magnetized needle is pivoted inside the box, which can rotate freely. The compass also has a dial with directions marked on it. The compass is kept at the place where we wish to know the direction. Its needle indicates the north-south direction when it comes to rest. The compass is then rotated until the north and south marked on the dial are to the ends of the needle. To identify the north pole of the magnetic needle, it is usually painted in a different color.